can you help us talk about a scorecard as one thing, kind of the emergence of scorecards, not to lead you to the answer, but I have the Gino Wickman traction book up on my shelf right behind us here. Could you just talk to us a little bit about scorecards and then also talk to us a little bit about Lighthouse Metrics?
Yeah, I came to scorecards the same way through the traction book. And I had read other things about KPIs and things over the years. And I think one of the things that really helped in that book was this concept of Lighthouse Metrics, where like there is so much data, but if you were on a desert island or you're on vacation for 2 weeks, like what are the 5 numbers you would need to see to know like things are not on fire, or if something needs to be done, I'm going to pull out my laptop for 10 minutes, a day and like just check on things. What are those metrics? And I think really trying to hone in on what those things are that's also a good amount of the work, is figuring out what those Lighthouse metrics are so that you don't kind of go down a shiny rabbit hole of data and like go click around between 50 dashboards.
Yeah, 50 dashboards with 50 metrics on each that you can drill and click is maybe a distraction, right? Yes. Unless you're trying to fix a specific problem. You're trying to do a retrospective on a trade show campaign. Well, maybe the deep data during that retrospective is super helpful. But if you then just leave that on your dashboard for the next year, it might be really distracting, right? So I've loved the Lighthouse. I have been fortunate enough to go sailing a number of times, and the Lighthouse it's the object that brings you home, right? That guides your path. If there were 50 lighthouses, you'd still get to the right dock, but because there's one or a couple, they bring us home.
Lighthouse Metrics, I originally had tried to put something together that had really nice visuals with sailing and lighthouses, but I have not had the pleasure of going on sailboats very often. So I went more with a car, which is a more relatable to most people analogy. The problem is not that we don't have data, is that we have way too much, right? Like each of these tools, if you're using WordPress, Go High Level, Keep, Calendly, Google Analytics, even right there, and you're probably using 5 times that, each of those have mountains of data in there. They're all siloed, and they all have reports, and their built-in reports maybe aren't the best because that's not the focus of the platform. And then there's also no way to combine that data across tools, so you don't get that holistic view. And so those are 2 problems that we track. But if you feel like you have data, but there's too much, but you're in good company, that's everybody. I'll go back to how I first reacted to this was like, I love data, like academically, I think it's really interesting, but I ran my agency like this for a long time, looking out the window, just reacting to whatever was right in front of me. You can get a long way on gut instinct. We don't drive this way for a reason, but the reason that it is common to react to too much data is because this is the alternative. Typically, like you're going to go into 50 different dashboards. They all have a ton of different dials and there's no statistical significance. And you're looking at like a 1-day snapshot and you're kind of still making gut reaction responses to way too much data. The answer to this is figuring out which metrics really matter and when. Like there's a time and place for each of these things, but in a day-to-day, on a weekly or a monthly cadence, you do need those Lighthouse metrics to just focus on the things that matter.